Hello Project Zomboid community, thanks for showing interest in this video. In my last video of how to get 10 military backpacks in 4 days, I mentioned that in the next video would probably be an engineering starting in Riverside. But the more I thought about it, the more it just didn't make sense. While engineer is the only occupation that can make bombs, and it seems like a fun occupation, currently the bombs are pretty lackluster as well as that class in general, since making bombs is the one special thing about being an engineer. I stress currently, hoping that the developers will change them later. I also noticed that 2 of the previous videos seemed to be directed for intermediate level of play, and this was not intentional. I wanted to suggest fun starts that helped with a couple of the issues I saw on the forums. In this video, I will show a beginner approach to the game, even slow down and pause some of my gameplay to show in full detail how to fight zombies more efficiently. Let's get going with the planning part, and then I'll break down fighting techniques. There will be no playthrough just to keep this video within reasonable time. Let's start off with the class. I prefer Fireman as it's the most rounded class for beginner players. While there might be better classes for fighting zombies like Construction Worker, Axeman, or even Policeman, Fireman gives you a good set of traits and will still start you off at 0 points. With Fireman, you get +1 in Axis, which gives you a good combat trait, as Axis are some of the better melee weapons in the game. +1 in Fitness, which allows your character to be more active without getting tired as frequently. +1 in Sprinting, to run away quicker from zombies in case your character does end up getting tired. And lastly, +1 in Strength, which helps you in combat and carry more items in your natural inventory. We can't forget that we do get a nice experience bonus for all of these traits. While Fitness and Strength are too hard to level up, leveling up Axis and Sprinting will come in very helpful very early in the game. An extra nice bonus is you get to start off with the best boots and the best pants as far as protection goes. We start off in Riverside. It's one of the easiest, if not the easiest town in the game. The reason I feel Riverside is easier than Rosewood is in the name. It has a river right next to it, which will help you in a pinch if water gets shut off within the first week or two. Feel free to pause at any moment to take a closer look. There are times you might spawn the small part that is separated from the main part. These are the 2 roads that connect the small part to the bigger part of the town. There are a couple good looting spots in this area like the auto repair, the self-storage, or factory, but you can explore that later once you start getting a little bit more comfortable with this town. This area still has a gas station and is small enough where you can get there quickly. Here are the parking lots so you can find a car right away and make your way to the main part. The main part of Riverside has the school right in the center, which is where you will be going first for backpacks. There are also multiple storage rooms that may have a weapon for you. These are the storage rooms on the first floor. These are the storage rooms on the second floor. If you manage to drive a car here or get a good number of backpacks, you can also grab some books from the library. It is ideal to only grab the beginner and intermediate books first. You still want to grab all the carpentry books since that skill is the most useful when you start building your base. The lockers and desks also have a good number of electronic devices, which you will need a lot of later to level up your electronics skill. At level 1 electronics and level 2 mechanics, you can hotwire cars, which will be useful to grab one of the more spacious vehicles later when you start looting other towns, in case you don't find a key for them. At level 3 electronics, you can move stoves and washing machines, but I will warn you that this task is still very difficult even after reading the beginner and intermediate books. Yet another what-if scenario is if you spawn in this area, which is a pretty far walk from the school. So you may want to stop at this gas station, grab some gas, get a car, and drive to the school. Depending on where you spawned, it may be close to the end of the day. If it is, you can either rest on the second floor or in this teacher's lounge. It has some seats in it. Pick one of them up, place them inside the bathroom if you want to be extra safe when sleeping. Otherwise, the couches are nice and comfy so that you don't get any neck pain. But I'll take the neck pain any day for the extra safety, but that's just me. Another option is to use this house as a temporary house. The reason I like this house in particular is there's a couple exit options in case you start getting overrun by zombies. If zombies come from the front door or on the left side, you can run out the back and jump over one of these fences for safety. The difference between this fence and other wooden fences is that it's a see-through fence, so you can spot a zombie if it's on the other side. Then you know obviously not to jump. If zombies come from the back or right side, you can head out the front door and use the small fence to kill the zombies or to buy you a bit of time while you run away. The second location we will be heading to is the hardware store, which is not too far from the school. If there is a horde of zombies in the front of the store, you can lure them around this building and lose some of them. If the door is locked or there's a zombie inside, you can break the windows and use it as a small fence to help you kill the zombies. There is a very good chance that you will find Axis here. Preferably, you would like a hand axe, as a wooden axe and regular axe require a lot more skill to use properly. It is rather easy to get caught by zombies when swinging with the wooden axe due to its slow recovery after you swing. Once you get level 5 in access, the wooden axe does one-shot most zombies most of the time, but is still very dangerous due to slow how you recover when swinging it. You will find other useful tools like saws, hammers, rope, duct tape, nails, and maybe even some fishing gear. If you're really lucky, you will find a machete, which is better than most wooden axes for your back weapon slot. The machete does level up long blade instead of axes, but is much easier to use and doesn't take up as much stamina when you're using it. Lastly, you can loot this Gigamart, which is just across the parking lot from the hardware store. Here you will find enough food to get you past the first couple of weeks. You may want to leave this for the third day depending on how hard it was to loot the hardware store. The Gigamart has a storage area in the back in these refrigerators, so don't forget to loot those as well. There is a bunch of fresh fruit, but loot those last as fresh fruit stops being fresh after a few days, so it's best to leave them in refrigerators as long as possible. When you get a base, store them in the freezer part of the refrigerator. When you're hungry, cook them in the stove and eat them first. The main road has other useful stores, but is usually much more populated with zombies. This so far is a good start so you can start building your base without putting yourself in too much danger. An ideal location for a base is this house right here. The reason this house is ideal is it's far enough from the city where there won't be a lot of zombies bugging you while you build, but it's close enough where you won't have to drive far to get back into the city, and it's also easy to get to. It has most of the things you need. The only things missing are a second floor, which isn't crucial, and maybe a fireplace or an antique stove to help you keep warm in the winter. If you're surviving into the winter months often, you're at a more advanced level, so thank you for watching this far. Now I will go into the combat system. I've mentioned using small fences to help you kill zombies multiple times, so let's start there. The first thing you want to do is have zombies follow you over a small fence. You usually want to have all the zombies on the same side of the fence so that one doesn't sneak up behind you and bite you while you're killing the others. When the zombie hops over the fence, you can freely smash its head. It is helpful to zoom in and make sure that your circle pointer is right on their head. You will kill most zombies in one blow if your character is in good fighting condition. If only 2 zombies jump over the small fence at the same time, you can stand over one to prevent it from standing up and smash the head of the other, then smash the head of the second zombie as well. Using these small fences can get tricky when more than 2 zombies are following you. You want to try to smash the head of the first zombie that hopped over, then smash the head of the second zombie, and so on. Careful, you don't want to get too close to the zombies when doing this, as you can trigger a bug when you smack a zombie when it's either in mid-jump or is still on the other side. It will make the zombie stand up instantly. While it may be briefly stunned from your hit, it will recover and be standing a lot quicker than the zombies that are still on the ground. If this happens, just step away from the horde. Wait until all the zombies are on your side, then hop back over onto the other side. You can keep repeating hopping over the fence a few times before your character starts to get exhausted. At first, try to kill 2 or 3 zombies on each hop. This will allow you to kill hordes of up to around 8 to 12, depending on how quickly your character gets exhausted. You may ask, when do I know when to hop over the fence again? The best indicator is when you start feeling unsafe, which should be right around the same time any of the zombies are standing up again. You don't want to hop back over instantly, as the first zombie stands up, as there may still be some on the other side. Again, just pull away from the horde, wait for the rest to hop over to your side, then hop on over to the safe side. As you get better, you will be able to kill more zombies on each hop, and even calculate when you can't kill any zombies at all, or if it's just too inefficient to kill zombies even when using the strategy. Sometimes the best strategy is just to run. If you don't have a small fence, you can also kite zombies. I touched on this in my last video, but we'll break it down even more this time. When kiting zombies, it's best to use a weapon that has a lot of range and good attack speed as well. Each weapon has a little bit different, but the strategy is mainly the same. You want to create enough distance between you and the horde so that when you hit a zombie, the rest of the horde doesn't catch up to you and hold you down. The best way to practice this mechanic is from side to side. This will allow you to get a better view of the distance between you and the horde. Eventually, when you practice this enough, you will be able to kite them at any angle. A good idea is to picture an imaginary circle of the area you are walking around to kite and dodge the horde. Another thing you want to consider is to attack the closest zombie to you. Sometimes you may have to wait until that zombie isn't at an angle from the side-to-side strategy. You can also step a bit off the side-to-side strategy, attack, then go back to it instantly. Just think of your attacking zone as a small rectangle inside your circle. You want to kite within a certain area, otherwise you will attract more zombies than you need to. If you really have to go outside your circle in order to prevent getting grabbed into a spot that will attract more zombies, don't worry about it, as it's always better to dodge rather than being injured. The larger the horde is, the bigger your circle will have to be as well, to allow you to walk around the horde and allow you to kill them from side to side. Another skill you will develop is to be able to judge the size of the horde you can take on. If there are too many zombies in an area, sometimes the best strategy is to lure them away from the area you're trying to get to. You don't want to start kiting 8 zombies and draw more in. It may turn out that you made a miscalculation and your character can't take on more zombies as they are starting to get exhausted, tired, or have any other condition that may prevent you from kiting those initial 8 zombies. This concludes the combat system. While there are many more details that I can show, those are more dependent on certain situations or scenarios. There are endless scenarios you can encounter while playing Project Zomboid. Starting this week, I will be streaming every night starting at around 7:30 or 8 p.m. Central US time. If you're enjoying my content, make sure to subscribe to this channel and follow me on my Twitch channel for more strategies, but a lot more relaxed experience. Thank you 3000. See you next time.